Oh, yes. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George, and if this is your first time here, or you've been here before but haven't subscribed yet, come on, join the Knicks-Verse. We're very close to 10,000 subscribers. I think we're at 9,700 or something. Very, very close. Also, hit the thumbs up button for me and drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and feelings about this incredibly interesting weekend the New York Knicks just had. They played the Memphis Grizzlies in Memphis, and they pulled off a 1-point win, a tremendous win there. And then today, Sunday, a Sunday game started a little bit earlier than usual, and the New York Knicks came back from a 19-point deficit to pull this win off in overtime against the Miami Heat. I mean, so any win over the Heat is a wonderful thing, and this was an amazing win. And let me tell you, the star of this game was OG ANUNOBY. I know Brunson was Mr. Clutch once again, and he hit some incredible. I mean, we don't win without Brunson, but I don't think Brunson even has a chance to do what he does without what OG did, especially in that second half when he basically shut Tyler Hero down, who was cooking the Knicks in the first half. This is an interesting game to break down. I got highlights for you guys. I got stats analysis. Let's get to it. Here we go. New York Knicks win in overtime, 116-112, and Mr. Captain Clutch delivers 31 points, 5 rebounds, and 6 assists. He could not have been more instrumental in pulling us out because the team did not look that good in that first half. They looked lethargic. They looked like the energy was just off. There's just something that was just off about the team in that first half. And Mr. Brunson, he just figured it out. And in the post-game interview, he basically said just as much. He says, no matter what, got to figure out how to get the win, and that's what they pulled off. And then when you listen to what Erik Spoelstra said, the coach of the Heat, he says, quote, Brunson was tremendous in the second half. That right slot, he was operating. We didn't do enough to disrupt that. That's what great players do. If you don't, they make you pay and leave you thinking about it. He's going to be thinking about this tonight. Spoelstra is a fantastic coach, probably one of the best coaches in the history of the NBA, and he knows what he's talking about when it comes to Jalen Brunson. And he threw everything he could at him. He threw zones at him. He was trying to double team him. He was putting big players on him, big defenders on him. Nothing was really. It was a little bit for a moment there. It threw him off a little bit, and then he made the adjustments. Tremendous, tremendous game for Jalen Brunson. And then we have OG ANUNOBY, who in my opinion was the actual player of the game here. As Hoop Central points out, OG tonight, 23 points, 9 rebounds, 1 away from a double-double, 5 assists for him, 3 blocks, 2 steals. He shot 50% overall, and he played 43 minutes. Now, let me show you. I'm going to show you something else, too, what he did in that second half. Look at his performance in the second half right here. He shot 70% in the second half, hit 50% from the three-point line, 3 of 6, picked up the 5 rebounds, 4 assists, 2 steals, 3 blocks, all of this in the second half plus overtime. 18 points he delivered. He was a plus 20 in that second half. Josh Hart, a plus 21. But this story right now is about OG ANUNOBY. Fantastic game for him. And you can see Brunson was amazing as well. The New York Knicks were off to an incredibly cold start, and they ended up shooting 60% in the second half, including OT, and 38% from the three-point line in that second half. They shot worse from the free throw line. They shot worse from the free throw line than they shot from the field in general. It's hilarious. But let me see. Let me show you guys something here. Look what the Knicks did in the first half. In the first half, they shot 36%. Only 26% from the three-point line. So this was about what the adjustments that were made in that locker room at halftime, and OG ANUNOBY just came out with a fire and desire in his belly to just shut down whoever his man was, and he did it, man. There were some amazing plays. He was able to. There was a moment there, in a crucial moment in the game late, where he was isolated on the right sideline. I can't remember who it was. Was it Highsmith? I can't remember who the player, the Heat player it was, but he just isolated him out there, and he forced him. He knocked the ball off of him, and he got the turnover. fantastic moment, a key moment for that. I think that's one of the steals they got credited for that. All right, let's get back to this. Yeah, fantastic game for OG. Let me tell you, just talk a little bit about it. What he did today was a defensive clinic. It just showed why Leon wanted to give him the $200 million, why he wanted to trade RJ and IQ for him. There are very few players in the NBA that can do what OG did tonight, which is basically turn the game around defensively. That is, we're going to see Victor Wembanyama do that for sure, but that guy's 7,000 feet tall. OG's 6'7". It's amazing his ability to change the tempo of a game defensively. He was suffocating the Miami Heat team, and they were looking really good in that first half. They were looking really good, but not after he took care of them. They shot 65% in the first half. Tyler Hero was on fire. 11 points for him in just 17 minutes of play, 5 of 9 for him. But then when OG got put on him, it was a whole other story. Fabulous. If Mikal Bridges could deliver the type of tenacity, defensive tenacity that OG did tonight, and OG can do and has done many times, this could become a very good defense. It could let's put it at least a good enough defense to, start getting into that top tier. That's the hope. That's the hope and the dream. And it also was game 2 of Mitch's return. So the Knicks are now 2-0 in the Mitch era of 2024-2025. He was instrumental, as far as I was concerned, in that win against the Memphis Grizzlies, and again tonight. He was diving on the ball for loose balls. He was causing turnovers. He was getting blocks. He was a tremendous deterrent on players driving into the hoop, because we were losing the points in the paint battle for a while, and then we recovered. This was OG interviewed. The question was, down 19, what does this win say about your team's character and toughness? And OG's response was, how resilient, tough, talented we are. Even when we're down, we can always come back. Just stay with it. Never get too low, too high. Play till the game's over. Now, when he says play till the game is over, he means play with tremendous intensity until the game is over. And that's what we saw, the tenacity. That's what we saw from him. And I got to say, a friend of mine also tweeted me this, texted me this, where he said, I think he thought that having Mitch on the court inspired OG to play his best defense. Now, that might be the case. And it may not be, that conscious, but just having someone like Mitch out on the court definitely can embolden other players to be the best version of themselves defensively. So, and when you see that, when you get that from a guy like OG, you're going to get an outstanding defender. You're going to get an all-defensive level type of player. You're going to get someone who could compete for the Defensive Player of the Year type of effort, and that's what he did tonight. Outstanding game. Then comes Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges, overall, he shot 1 of 7 tonight. Offensively, he was a disaster, only 2 points. He was a minus, that was just the first half. For the game, he played 28 minutes. He shot 2 of 11, 1 of 6 from the three-point line. Here, we'll go over here. So you guys can see it. Here's Mikal right here. 1 of 6, 4 rebounds. He did have 8 assists. He was a team high for that. So that's the one outstanding thing that he contributed. But only 5 points. He was a -5. He's the only starter plus Deuce who was in the minus column. And it's back here. He sat for the entire fourth quarter. Basically. Here, we'll go back there. This is the fourth quarter stats. He played 27 seconds. 27 seconds in the fourth quarter. That was it. But you know who did play? Deuce. Deuce was the only one who played the entire fourth quarter. Delivered 5 points. He had a big 3-point shot to put the Knicks ahead for the very first time in the game. That's right. This is it. This was the lead tracker right here. This is the Deuce 3-pointer he hit. Actually, it was back over here. And it finally gave the Knicks the belief that they could actually take this lead. Beautiful. Oh, yeah, this was the fourth quarter right here in the fourth quarter. Beautiful. And then the Knicks they kind of like gave the lead back. They were down by 4 with about 1 minute and 5 seconds left. And I actually believe that this team could tie it or win it in regulation time. It just felt like the trend was going there. You can see this. Look at this beautiful slope right here. This beautiful rise up to basically tying the game. The biggest lead of the game was 19 by the Heat. For the Knicks, it was 5. And there were only 3 lead changes in this game. It was a really interesting game to watch. It was a good game to watch, obviously, because we came back from 19 points and won. We love this. I would rather have been more competitive throughout, and we didn't need to have a big, huge comeback. Wasn't necessary, but the Knicks took care of business. That is the most important thing. Also, let's look at this since we're here right now. The team comparisons. The second chance points is the story here. Because when I show you the percentages and everything, you'll be like, wow, it's amazing that we won this game. The New York Knicks were a plus 11 in second chance points, 19-8. In points in the paint, for a while there, we were getting our asses kicked in points in the paint, but now, look at this, 58-56. The Knicks ended up overtaking that. And even the fast break points, which there weren't many fast break opportunities in this game. Miami's a very good defensive team. So, you got, and man, that Bam Adebayo hit some big shots. At one point, OG was rotated over onto him, and he played him so tight and tough. But Bam, around the 17-footer, he is just lethal. It's the best shooting I've seen him do in I think ever. It was fantastic. And OG was right in his face, and he still buried 2 big buckets to give the Heat the lead. And I think that was in overtime, actually. Look at the rebounding. Knicks won that battle, plus 12, 46-34. The assists, we lost that one, 29-27. Wasn't a big assist game, but look at the stocks. Steals and blocks combined even, and that's with Khalil Ware, who was killing us. He had like 4 blocks in the first quarter against us. He was definitely having an impact on this game. And then when Mitch came in, it ended up altering his ability to just freestyle. Look at the field goal shooting percentage. The Miami Heat finished for the game 53.6%, and the Knicks shot 48%. So that was a huge disparity. But then you look at the three-point shooting. It's pretty even, but we put up more attempts. The free throw shooting was pretty subpar for both teams tonight. Let's get back to this. But this. So this was the he's contesting the shot. It's Alec Burks, and I believe this is what ties the game. Or actually, no, it actually puts them ahead here. It's late in the fourth quarter. This is what is called a contesting. This is terrible. Is this what Mikal Bridges considers contesting a three-point attempt? What the fuck, man? No way. If that was OG, it would have been right in front of his face, or at least hovering from the side to at least, give him some let him feel your breath on his neck. That's how you defend. Look at this. This is the highest Mikal got his hands up, because I watched this play several times to see if he really did contest it. He was going to, and then he pulled his hands down because he got beat to the spot. Yes, there was a screen, but he actually was able to look where Bam is. So there was definitely room for him to get up there in front of him. He just didn't really do his job, and that's why he sat for basically the fourth quarter. He was brought in for defensive help right here. All right, we got the rest of the other stats. Let's get to the highlights. But I'm telling you guys, if Mikal can become the defender that the defender that's been promised of him, that could go a long way to helping this team get stops when they need it. Like they did today. They finally did today, but that was mostly because Deuce was on the court to help balance that defense and absorb the point of attack, and then OG just, man, he was doing an outstanding job. Outstanding job. All right, here we go. As the game got off, it was pretty even at first, but then the Heat started pulling away. Even when there's a bad pass, somehow they ended up with the ball. And look at this. Easy little dunk right there for Khalil Ware. Brunson comes in. Here's Mikal pushing it out. Why he didn't shoot that, I don't know. But at least Towns hit that bucket. Towns, I'm a little concerned about Carl. I have a feeling he seems like he is playing hurt to me. And it is the knee. maybe this is the time now that we have Mitch back. Let's sign another big, off whatever. Maybe get a 10-day contract or something, and let's rest Cat right now for a week or two, because he needs it. He needs it. He does not look like himself at all. Even though he played almost 40 minutes, he only took 11 shot attempts. He hit 6, which is nice, 54%, but he was only 1 of 4 from the three-point line. He did pick up 16 rebounds because he's an outstanding rebounder. 12 of those were defensive rebounds. He finished with 19 points, 16 rebounds. No assists, no steals, one block, which was a key block. I remember that block was crucial. We're swinging around. Here comes Deuce. Boom. Deuce hits the high arcing three-point shot to keep the Knicks close to the Heat. And here comes Josh Hart. Little turnaround. Gorgeous. Hart was a little quiet offensively in that first half, the first quarter mostly. What did he deliver in that first quarter? He was 2 of 3, 4 points. But I feel like he passed up on some open looks because Spo wants him to take those shots. He passed up on some threes. Yeah, he didn't even attempt a 3 in that first quarter. So now the Heat have been taking over in this second quarter. They were on fire. The Knicks could only shoot. The Knicks were 2 of 12 from the three-point line in that second quarter, while the Heat shot 72% overall, 66% from the three-point line. They outscored the Knicks by 12 in this quarter, 35-23. And then came the third quarter. Now, the highlights are back. Look at this. That's a Khalil Ware. I think that completely infuriated Thibs. Well, I know it did. It definitely infuriated Thibs. I think, was that OG? OG hit a big bucket right there. Yes. This third quarter was a beautiful sight for us. Look at OG jamming. OG did not miss a bucket. He played the entire 12 minutes of that third quarter, was 5 of 5 overall, 3 of 3 from the three-point line, 4 assists for him, 13 points in that 12 minutes of play. He was a plus 11, and JALEN Brunson was a plus 11. Mikal Bridges also played the entire third quarter, but only 1 of 3 points for him, but he picked up 5 assists in that third quarter. That's where he really took off in terms of his playmaking. And here, this is his one three-pointer that he makes, which was a very important bucket right there, as the Knicks were able to chop that 19-point deficit down to just 3. And then the Heat were able to boost that lead back up. That's the frustrating thing about the Knicks. Once they got it down to just a 3-point lead, a 3-point deficit, they let the Heat build it back up to 12 or 13 points in that fourth quarter early, midway through. And we did not see Mikal Bridges return, because then what happened? OG just started shutting everybody down like that. Look at that. Get that garbage out of here. Here we go. We swing the ball around. Oh, that was a tremendous layup off the glass. That was phenomenal. So here, we were down 11 then, and now we're down 9. Friendly bounce for Duncan Robinson. I think that was Josh Hart who got beat on that. Here comes Cat. Boom. Look at this. Even though I feel like his hand must be bothering him still, I saw him flicking it a lot. I didn't see it tonight, but I saw him flicking it a lot in the Memphis game. That's the huge bucket that I mentioned that Deuce hit in that fourth quarter. But that wasn't the one that gave us the lead. It's coming up. Was that Deuce? Yeah, I think that was Deuce. Was that Deuce? No, that wasn't Deuce. Who was that who hit that? It was Payne? It was Payne. Ooh, nice little friendly bounce. So now we're down 3, 4 minutes left. Look at this defense. Here comes the Brunson burner, taking it down. Now it's a 1-point game. We're starting believing. Yes. Deuce takes it over here. Boom, boom, boom. He drives. Hits the midi. Oh, that's the shot. I thought it was a 3. No, it was a midi to give us the first lead in the game for the Knicks. Was that from Deuce McBride. Meanwhile, Mikal is sitting on the bench this whole entire time. He took it well. I hope that this motivates him. I hope it motivates him a lot, because we desperately need Mikal Bridges to be the guy that he was with the Phoenix Suns, like a mix of what he was with the Suns and what he became with the Nets. We need a mixture of that. We need a guy who really inflicts his offensive game upon the game itself. Look at that. Broke right through, ties it up in the fourth quarter. Captain Clutch, 105. And then McCall was brought in there. He played 27 seconds in the fourth quarter. That was it. That was one of his 27 seconds. So now we're in OT. Tied up. This is what I'm saying. Look at that. Tremendous shot by Bam. OG was all over him. And now we got Brunson. Just takes it in. Uses the shoulder. Clears out some space. Sinks the buckets. Tied up again. Here we go. Here's another great defensive play. Look at this. Just better offense. Fabulous. But what this was doing, it was pushing the Heat offense away from Hero. So instead of Hero, just knocking down threes, they were going to Bam for these twos. I will take that trade-off for sure. So now the Knicks picked up the lead here. Here comes Josh Hart. Gets in there. I don't even know how he made that bucket. Outstanding for him. Beautiful. He was really good in that overtime. And then they hit that bucket. Oh, that was the three. That's the one I showed you about the contesting. I think that was Alec Burks. Sorry, I was looking over here at the stat. Now, McCall, beautiful pass to OG. That basically seals the win right there. The New York Knicks. Fabulous win. Fabulous win. This is a big, significant win. No ifs, ands, or buts about it. This is a win that could really be like another building block towards this team beginning to believe that they can beat anybody. You heard OG say how talented we are. They know that they're good, but when they go in and get their asses whooped by the Celtics, OKC, and Cavs, it's got to really create a big conflict internally for themselves. So it's wins against the Memphis Grizzlies, wins against the Miami Heat like this. Even though the Heat were missing Jaime Jaquez Jr. and Andrew Wiggins, who was traded to the Heat in exchange for Jimmy Butler, they were missing them. So, but a Heat team is always going to play you tough no matter what. They're never, especially the Knicks, in their home arena, they're not going to roll over. But speaking of the home arena, that was incredible. The Knicks fans were chanting louder than the actual hometown fans in that arena. That was outstanding. It warmed my heart to hear it. All right, here we go. Here are the stats for the full game. Deuce, tremendous game for him in his 30 minutes of play. 3 of 7 from the three-point line, 12 points. Shamet gave us 14 minutes, 5 points for him. Everyone from the bench scored scored some points. Payne, 5 points for him, 2 points for Mitch. And then Josh Hart, 14 points, 7 rebounds. Not a double-double rebounding game for Josh Hart, interestingly enough. 43 minutes he played. I mean, the entire starting unit, except for McCall, played 40 minutes or more. Towns, like I mentioned, 19 points for him, 16 rebounds, 23 for OG, 9 rebounds there. And McCall Bridges, 5 rebounds, 1 of 6 shooting from the three-point line, 2 of 11 overall. Yikes. The New York Knicks did not have a good three-point shooting night. 14 of 44, just under 32%. But I'm glad they kept up that volume, especially from the three-point line, because this Heat team will suffocate you if they get you to run off the three-point line. They will make your life tough. So I'm glad that we kept shooting them up to keep them honest enough. And then, boom, you'll hit a big one here and there. Here is the plus minus. As I showed you before, McCall was the only minus starter. OG at plus 8, plus 10 for Towns, plus 12 for Brunson, the high man for the game, and a plus 1 for Josh Hart. Mitch was a minus 6. Payne a minus 5. Deuce was a plus 11 right there, and a minus 6 for Landry Shamet. Let's go over here. Here's the Miami Heat stats. Bam Adebayo, an outstanding shooting game for him. 12 of 16 overall. So that means he was 12 of 14 inside the arc. Just didn't miss, but only 7 rebounds for him. 30 points, 4 assists. Ware finished with 12 points and 8 rebounds. And how many blocks did he get? Ware ended up with 6 blocks. He got all the blocks for the Miami Heat. Damn. Davion Mitchell, who did hit a couple of big three-pointers. He was on fire shooting from the three in the previous 3 games leading into tonight. I think he had made 8 or 9 in a row, including the first one that he made tonight, but he missed the last 3. Beautiful. Tyler Hero, look at that. This is what happens when you put a world-class defender on somebody who's got the right size and length to defend you. You shoot 8 of 24 and get 22 points. 2 of 11 from the three-point line for Tyler Hero. Yuck. Though he did come up with 7 assists. Alec Burks, former Knick, who was on the Knicks team last year at this time. 12 points for him, 4 of 5. I think he got hot in that third quarter, and that was quite annoying. Let me make sure here. Yeah, I think that's when they built up that 13-point. Yeah, he hit 3 of 3 from the three-point line in that third quarter. That was pretty annoying. All right, let's get to this. The final team stats. We'll be wrapping it up soon. Both teams with 13 turnovers, though the Knicks capitalized more off of those turnovers than the Heat did. They got 17 points off of those turnovers as opposed to 11 for the Heat, so they were +6 there. I already talked about points in the paint. The assists, nothing to get excited about, but the New York Knicks offensive rebounding was a huge difference in this game. The Knicks had 8 additional offensive rebounds than the Heat, and that's going to lead to more shot attempts. The Knicks had 11 more shot attempts than the Knicks tonight, and even though they only connected on 1 more bucket in total, that's all that mattered. That's all they needed. I mean, and a couple. Oh, there were 3-point shots too. See, there you go. That's why you got to keep shooting those threes, even though you shot the same percentage as the other team, because you gave yourself more shooting opportunities. You were able to hit more 3-pointers. Beautiful, beautiful. Oh man! And then there's nothing more beautiful than this. If the Knicks actually had 50 wins, that might be a little more beautiful. But 40 wins in 60 games. The Knicks are 40-60. That is a fabulous goal to have reached. If the Knicks could have reached 40 wins before they got their 20th loss, that is a sheer sign of an absolute bona fide contender. Well, this is about as close as you can get. So it just shows how good this team can be and how good they actually are. The next thing is taking care of business against those 2 teams ahead of them, and to continue to beat these other teams that are below them. Continue to beat the Bucks, Pacers. Detroit is right there. I mean, I think that season series is over with Detroit, which we lost twice to them. And then there's the Heat in 7th place. They are in the play-in. Orlando's in the play-in. They've been cratering. And then there's Atlanta and Chicago coming up below there. Fantastic win. This is a fantastic win. I had a feeling that if the Knicks could just get it close enough in that fourth quarter with Brunson, the way that he's been so money lately, and now having Mitch also to come out onto the court and give you that defensive presence, that this team could pull off the biggest comeback win of the season, which they did. Outstanding win. Fantastic. I am so pumped about this victory. It makes me feel a lot better about the situation that's been happening of late with this team, because I know that this team is a real bona fide contender. In my opinion, they are a bona fide contender, and it's going to take more victories like this and then steal a game or 2 from Celtics and the Cavs that are coming up. I think there's a big road trip coming up. Actually, they play the Golden State Warriors at MSG on Tuesday, and then they hit the road. They'll be coming to LA. I'm going to see if I can go see the games. Might be some issues. I may not be able to actually go see the games, which is a bummer. But maybe we'll have a watch party. We'll see. Stay tuned for that. Okay, thank you so much for watching this. Again, my name is George. Please subscribe, hit the thumbs up button for me, and drop your comments. Definitely want to hear your thoughts and feelings about anything Knicks. And share the video. That would really help me. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go.